Hi, so now we are going to show you how to measure an RECD. Now you need to measure RECD for adults and children because there is a difference between the size of the coupler and the size of the ear. So doing this will create the correct targets. Sometimes if you use average RECD, that can create targets that are not quite accurate for your patient. So we have Jimmy rigged a listening ear mold for a hearing aid ear mold, so it's not going to be exact, but it will do for our purposes today. My lovely assistant Amy is going to help us out to do this. So first I'm going to show you how to set up the Verifit to do this. So you're going to push tests just like you did for calibration. Today we're going to do on-ear measures. But you can also do this with test box measures. After you measure the RECD, you can use that to do live speech map or simulated real ear measures or simulated speech map. If you're doing simulated SREM, you're going to go to test box measures. If you're doing on-ear, live, real ear speech map, you're going to go to on-ear measures, and that's what we're going to do first. So that's where I'm going to go. Now you can either just measure the RECD, or if you go into speech map, it will ask you if you want to measure it within speech map. So that's where we're going to go. So I'm going to kind of fudge this for Amy. She's an adult. I'm going to put that we got thresholds through insert plus foam. I'm not going to enter any bone conduction. We're going to say she has a completely sensorineural hearing loss. And then for RECD, under here, you can either use the average, and like I said, that'll be pretty good, especially for those patients who you cannot get an RECD on, kids with multiple disabilities, or, I don't know, kids that are just not happy. Or you can enter them. If you already have measured their RECD and printed it off and you have the numbers, you can enter it, or you can measure it. And that's what we're going to do here. So I'm just going to put in a flat 40 dB all the way across hearing loss for Amy. And then here's where you're going to measure the RECD. Now, you have to measure the coupler first so that you have the coupler to compare your real ear measure to. So, you're going to take the RECD transducer, which looks like this little guy. You're going to plug it into the middle where it says RECD transducer. You're going to take the tip and you're going to plug it into the blue part of the coupler right there. It doesn't matter where it is in the test box because you're not using the reference mic. You just need a quiet box. So you're going to put it in there and close it. And then you're going to put measure coupler. Gives you some instructions here. And that green line that you saw jump up there, that is the coupler right there. That's the measurement of the coupler. The bottom is frequency, and the side here is dBSPL. So then you're going to measure your real ear. And there is a specific setup for which to do that. So I'm going to switch spots with Amy. Amy's going to sit down. And like I said, we have Jimmy rigged her listening ear mold for hearing aid ear mold. I've just stuck some tubing on it. So we're going to set this up. You're going to take your probe right here, and you have this in, and it should already be in there from when you calibrated it. And now what you're going to do is you're going to lay the ear mold against the probe like so, and you want it to stick out just a little bit further than the ear mold, because you want the edge of the probe to be right next to the eardrum. So in order to do that, you're going to do this, and then you're going to move this marker so that it's right on the edge of the ear mold, like so. So it's just sticking out just a little bit further. So then the setup is like this. You hang this blue part over the ear. This was made for a kid, so we're going to adjust it. Like so. And then you're going to take the probe You're going to stick it underneath the front blue string. Going to stick it into the ear so that the black marker is inside that intertracheal notch. Right about like that. Get a close-up of that. So that's where we are right now. You can see the black marker just on the inside of her tragus. Then we stick the ear mold in on top of the probe tube, and you try really hard not to move the probe tube while you insert the mold. So this is sort of our finished product. You have the probe tube going in. You also, another important thing is to make sure that the microphone is pointing outwards. Hope you can see that on there. Then you also want to make sure that this clip is kind of pulled tight and is hooked somewhere on the opposite side, just so it kind of holds it a little bit tight. The next part that you're going to do is take your RECD transducer, take it off of the coupler, and you're going to insert it right into the tubing for the hearing aid, just like that. Then, so it's in there like that. So then you're going to come to your Verifit, and you are going to push the measure real ear button. It's really important for your patient to sit very quietly during this, which can be kind of tricky for babies, but hopefully you can get just a second where it is quiet. So you're going to push measure real ear. It's going to give you some instructions. Yeah, push continue. Okay, so we're going to talk about what each of these lines mean. So the green line, as we already know, is the coupler. And that is how each frequency measures. The purple line is Amy's ear. And that is how each frequency responds within her ear. You can see kind of on the left here that the low frequency there dips off. That can mean that you either have a slit leak coming out of the ear mold, or you have a vent in the ear mold. Sometimes it can also mean that you've got a perforation of the eardrum. If you can, plug up the vent or get rid of the slit leak. In our case, it's because we're using the listening ear mold, and so it's not as airtight. But you actually don't want that dip in the low frequency. So then, the dotted line down here is average real ear to coupler difference. So that is the average difference between the purple and the green line. The blue line is your patient's real ear to coupler difference. So your patient's difference between the purple line and the green line. So you can see down here at 250 hertz, the difference here is about -10. There's about 10 dB of difference between the purple line here and the green line here. And it does that across all of the frequencies. So this is a decent looking real ear to coupler difference. So then you're going to push continue at the bottom, and then you are ready to do either live real ear speech map, or you can do simulated real ear, and we'll show you that in the next video.